Hi everyone. Jamie Fox. Can you hear me okay? I'll just use the microphone. Hi, I'm Jamie. I have the pleasure of welcoming Julie Rhodes today at our conference. She's the founder of Not Your Hobby Marketing, where she helps bring brands to life and stand out to wholesalers and customers alike. She's also wildly passionate about our industry and frankly just a joy to work with. And I appreciate every time she comes to our conference. Julie was our keynote speaker last year, and today you get the honor of seeing her on a much smaller stage. So I'd like to welcome Julie Rhodes. Okay.
I'm pretty loud, but I'm going to turn this on just in case. Is that too much? Am I like blasting you? Okay. All right, just checking. All right, how is everybody? Good? Not too hungover? All right. Okay, that's what I always hope for. Honestly, I'm glad I'm speaking on day one. I always worry about day two. So welcome. The whole point of this presentation today is because I don't want y'all farting around with stuff that doesn't work. Basically, I'm done. Y'all can go. All right? Just kidding. We're going to go through some stuff, but I am going to talk about what I do with folks here in just a second. You'll understand why I have this point of view that I do. But I try my best to share this with, whatever size brand you are. Okay, let me just add, who's doing their own marketing right now? Pretty much everybody. Is there like one person that has a marketing person? Maybe zero. Okay, great. Okay, everybody. Oh, yeah. Hi. Good to see you. So most of the time, people that I work with in a consulting capacity or educational capacity do not have a dedicated marketing staff. You've heard all the cliches, like I'm wearing a million hats and I'm doing different things and I'm cross-trained and all that kind of stuff. So what I like to do is, when I do talk about digital marketing, I like to take it from a perspective of you have no people, you have no time, and you have no budget. So that's where we're starting from today, if that's okay with y'all. If somebody doesn't fit that, please let me know. I will tell you how to do fancy stuff, but that's not the main point of today. So welcome. We are going to bust up some digital marketing myths. These are the things that I kind of want to shake people when I hear them in public, and I really wanted to bring them to your attention just to make sure that you aren't spending time doing things that are going to waste your time. This is me, obviously. Hi, I'm Julie. This is the fourth year that I've been to your conference. It's amazing. I'm really happy to be here again. I'm married into the industry. Jason's done a million things. He was a distributor sales rep. He was a brewer. He was a packager. He probably built your wild goose if you're running a goose machine. If you have a Maheen, for all you old school people, he probably built that. Most likely. We live in Denver, Colorado. I have two little brewery kids that know how to drive a pallet jack. They're teenagers now, but I really like this picture, so I can't quit using it. This is when they still liked us. Also, I've been in this industry for a couple of decades now, mostly on supplier side sales, but also digital marketing and regional management and chain business as well. About 7 years ago, I started my own consultancy called Not Your Hobby Marketing Solutions, where I tell people if you have customers, you have a business, not a home brewing hobby. Let's please treat it that way and take it seriously moving forward. I don't like the word consultant, but if I call myself a coach, nobody knows what I do. It's very confusing. So I do a lot of consulting with small brands one-on-one, but I also do a lot of educational materials. And just so you know that I'm not full of shit standing up here telling you to do stuff that doesn't make sense, I'm the COO of a hemp-infused beverage brand that I built from zero about 2 years ago. So please know that this is not just conceptual. I literally live your struggles every single day because I do two things at once. So that's my double life. I'm a sci-fi nerd. I like anime. I don't know. You can ask me about other stuff later on. Okay. Yes, there are stupid questions. I will let you ask them as much as you want to, and I will answer all of them. If you don't want to ask something anonymously, feel free to just raise your hand. This is a small group. Y'all can interrupt me. Shoot your hand up, just let me know. Or if you want to scan this, and then it's again on each slide if you think of something later on. But I'll be checking that. I'm going to scan this now before I forget because my old brain will absolutely forget to do this. But this is a really easy platform. It just pops up and you can type in a question whenever you have one, and I'll check them when we get to the end of the presentation. All right, let's just dive in. All right, here's the thing. You're probably not practicing bad marketing. You've probably just gotten like real crappy advice from other people. Most of the time, that's the culprit that I see. It's not necessarily, that you're doing anything wrong per se. It's that someone has probably steered you in the wrong direction. And again, I'm going to make a general sweeping statement here, but most beverage and brewery brands that I work with, they didn't start off as marketers. So you were probably in production, or you're probably an owner, or you're doing sales, or you started off as a bartender. You're doing something else, but you probably didn't get formally trained in marketing, which is not your fault, first of all, so don't take it out on yourself. You probably don't have time to get training or like go back to school. And to be honest with you, even if you did, this shit moves so fast, you'd have to do stuff like every week. I go to conferences all the time, not just for beverage, but for digital marketing, sales, CPG, outside of our industry. I have to do that, and I do marketing every single day. And I do it for multiple companies. So just know if you're feeling a little behind, don't feel bad. It's moving at lightning speed, and there's a lot of stuff out there, and there's a lot of stuff to digest and go through and try to figure out what's best. The other thing is, like, we're all friends. Our industry is pretty damn chummy, if you haven't noticed. So a lot of the times, somebody will give you marketing advice, and they mean well, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they're giving you bad advice, but they probably don't know what they're talking about. And then you end up doing something wrong that's probably not in your best interest, just because you asked a reference. And that's fine, that happens. I'm thinking directly of public internet forums and social media groups where ideas are exchanged. And that's not a bad thing, because we all like coming together and it's great for us to share ideas, but you have to understand every single brand in this room is different. What works for you might not work for the person sitting next to you. And what channels they're using might not be the best channels for your brand. And you probably have different target audience members, right? You have different customers that you're trying to reach. So we need to talk to people in different ways, right? And then another thing, again, we're just limited. We don't have armies of people. Do I want you to create unique video content and put it out on 6 different social media channels at different times of the day that are right for your audience at the right time when they're there? Sure. If you're Sierra Nevada and you have 20 people creating video content, you knock yourself out. Most of the people in this room, that doesn't apply to you. All right, so we're going to talk about what is feasible in our bandwidth, and also what you can do to extend that with some technology and software and just working with what you have in general. All right, so this is kind of what we're going to go through. It's pretty easy. I've got like 8. Okay, I lied. There's 9. There's 8 myths, and then I threw in a bonus one at the last minute because I thought that you needed it. I wanted to say something at the very end that I thought of later, right before I got here. So you get 9 myths today. And then I'm just going to give you kind of a prioritization framework for each one. Also, at the very end of today, I'm going to give you a cheat sheet. There's going to be another code that you can scan where you can download the deck. You can get my cheat sheet and all of that stuff. It has everything on here. You'll have to put your email address in there. That'll be at the very end, and I'll leave that screen up for a while so you can have it. I just want y'all not fumbling with it while we're going through all this stuff. But you're going to get a prioritization framework for each myth and each method that we're talking about. And I'm going to give you a simple, like, do this, don't do that. Just to, like, keep things actionable for you guys. Y'all don't need a whole bunch more concepts, more reading. And then we're going to do some Q&A. So feel free to let it rip. We'll get to that. Okay, this is the first one I hear all the time. Email is dead. Nobody reads that junk. This is so far from beyond true, I cannot even tell you. Most of the people that say this tend to be ones that are either sending really crappy emails, or they never unsubscribe from emails that they get, so they think everything is junk. But that only applies to you, like in particular, right? Here's the thing, is that email is still one of the most profitable time efficient ways, personal ways in your control that you can reach your customers. It still works. Big brands still do this. If y'all want some examples, Bale Breaker Brewing out of Washington State, Sierra Nevada is like kind of my gold standard. To be honest with you, so is Allagash. If y'all are on some of those email lists, please get on them. They are excellent. They are really good. But again, I want you to remember, they have armies of people working on these things. So take it with a grain of salt, notice what they're doing, and then drill it down into your own bandwidth. Why this sounds true, why it sounds like email is dead, is because you probably get a lot of email, right? You get a lot. Everybody does. So it feels overwhelming. The other thing is everybody's on social media. That's like the sexy thing to talk about, right? And the other thing is that it sounds like a buttload of more work. So most people just immediately gravitate away from that. But why it's wrong is that here's the thing. We sell alcohol, right? If you send a marketing email and then somebody comes into your tap room or goes to a store and buys your product, how are you tracking that from your email? If anybody's a wizard here and you can do that, let me know. I have not been able to do that, ever. Because there's no direct sales connection, right? But think about the other things that you do that we can measure directly with something like a click in an email to an action item, right? We can sell merchandise. Anybody in here doing e-commerce? DTC? You can measure that. Totally measurable. You can sell tickets. You can have signups for your loyalty program. Yeah? Y'all are scaring me. Y'all are real quiet this morning. Good? You following? Yeah? I'm gonna like yell at you real quick. Okay. All right. But those are things that you can actually measure. The gist with marketing is that we want to be able to chalk something up to a sale, right? Like more revenue. It's called attribution. That's the fancy word for it. That's my marketing degree for you. And we want to be able to trace that path, but it's really hard to do in our world of alcohol with the 3-tier system, right? But there are things that we can feasibly trace, which is activities. And it's things like open rates on your email. Like, did this person open it? What did they click on? What are they interested in? You know, the other thing about email is that you own it. I'm gonna ask you a scary question. If Instagram shut down today, how would you reach people? You have an answer? Email. If you're doing email, let's hope that you are, right? But that's a big like meta question out there. It's like if Zuckerberg decided he woke up on the wrong side of the bed and just pulls the plug on Facebook and Instagram, and I don't know if anybody's in here on WhatsApp, but that's also meta. If that goes away, how do you reach people? Your email list is something that you own. This is a theory called permission marketing. Someone has to give you their email address, which is called opting in, which is what I'm asking you guys to do today with the deliverable, right? It's a way for you to digitally raise your hand and say, I would like to hear from you, Julie. Please send me things, right? If y'all want to get the deliverable and leave, I will not be offended. By the way, I encourage unsubscribes all the time because here's the thing. If you're going to be like in my email community and you never open stuff from me, I don't want you to be there. You don't need the extra stuff. So when y'all are building an email list of customers, if you have people that are never opening your emails, we call those cold subscribers. Say somebody hasn't opened one in 6 months, delete them. Take them off your list. You're never going to sell anything to them anyways. If they're interested, they'll come back. That's the basis of permission marketing. That's the beauty of it, right? But know that the glory of email, honestly, is not only direct transactions that we can track, but you own your list. You have permission to speak to those people. And you don't have to depend on the algorithm for them to see it. You can control when you send it. You control the creative. You control what you say in it, when you send it, how often, all of those things. It's pretty awesome, actually. And it's not as hard as you think it is. If you just make it personal and just use your own voice, you can literally just like talk to people and send out a couple of paragraphs. It doesn't have to be super fancy, all right? And that's my little thing at the end. Yes, they say email is dead, you know, because they're sending bad emails. But I want you to do this instead. I want you to start building a list immediately What does that look like? That means I'm using an email service provider. I have a subscription box on every single page of your website. Every single page, people, every page, right? You put it on everything. You talk about it on social media. You put a QR code in your tap room for people to show up. You put it on your menus. You have your bartenders talk to people about signing up in your tap room. Make sense? So we're firing on all cylinders in trying to build our list immediately and build that asset. I want you to send less, but I want you to make it fun. I don't know if y'all can see that. Please stop sending what I call snooze letters. No one wants another newsletter in their inbox. Raise your hand if you're like, oh, a newsletter? Sweet, I'm gonna sign up for that. I can't wait to get that every Monday morning. Please also be conscious of your subject line. Please don't put Julie's Brewery, newsletter number 7, March 20th, 2026. Gross. Vomit. I'm gonna delete that. I'm not even gonna open that. That's not even worth my time. Short, punchy, fun subject lines, typically 9 words or less. Start by sending it once a month. Go to twice a month. Think about the different things that you're doing, the story behind your products. How did you create the new sweatshirt? What do you have going on in the tap room? What other revenue streams that you have that you need to promote? Do you have a food program? Are you doing private events? Right? Do you have a loyalty club? Are you selling in distribution? Do you have a product finder on your website? Those are all interesting things that people want to know and hear from you, all right? And if you're just gonna track one thing, track your click-through rate. That's how many people are clicking on stuff. Sometimes open rates these days get a little weird with like iPhone privacy settings and like things like that. Click-through is pretty solid. Like how many people are clicking through? I can tell you right now, benchmark is 3% or more. That's typical, regardless of what size list you have. Also know that your metrics go down the bigger your list gets. It's a sliding scale. Yes?
So can you explain click-through?
Yes, so if I send you an email and it says like, hey, I'm teaching a webinar this Thursday, click here to register.
So the link to...
It's the link.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Are there, is there a service that you recommend that, as somebody who started MailChimp like 10 years ago and has never changed because it works?
Oof,
Are there
yeah.
better, like much better?
Absolutely, yeah. It's not that MailChimp is bad, I'll just say that right now. It's not bad at all. It's really hard to track click-through rate and what people are doing. And because ideally you want to tag people with what their interests are. You know what I mean? Like, are they clicking on events? Are they clicking on food? Are they clicking on private events? Stuff like that. If you want some starter ones, I love one called Flowdesk. I don't know if anybody's using Flowdesk in here. And it's a millennial company, so there's no W. FLO desk. Sorry, millennials. You'll stop dropping consonants, random things. There's usually extra ones in there. Flowdesk is great. Another one is called Emma, like the girl's name, EMMA. I like Constant Contact. There's another one called Kit that's really great. And then Brevo. How do they have all these weird names? I don't know. Don't ask me. I didn't name them. Those are really great ones to start though, because they have a lot of, you can create landing pages, you can create the subscription boxes and throw them in your website. It's easy to tag people and it's easy to segment people. So, and they have fun templates. Just use a template. Don't stretch your brain. Yeah.
Do you suggest if you have like a POS system that offers the marketing and the emailing, still using an outside source or going through your...
Ooh. Okay, I think this is mostly Square. If I
We
did
use Toast.
Toast, does Toast do it too?
Yeah.
Okay, here's my thing. If that's how you want to get started, do it. Because I'm a big fan of the less systems, the better. So if you can consolidate it, that's awesome. Just know that the templates aren't like as fancy, but it's perfectly fine, honestly. And if that's a great way to build your list, it's like, do you want to close your tab? Do you want to be part of this email list? That's awesome. So yeah, I have zero issue with that. Yeah, totally fine.
Is there one that gives you more freedom to like align your branding, for instance? I feel like a lot of these are like, these are the fonts you can use, these are the simple.
That are connected to the point of sale?
Yeah, well, just like in terms of like branding the company, like there's certain fonts we like to use certain platforms, so like it's hard.
Yeah.
For instance, MailChimp, so like I'm kind of stuck with whatever they can provide. Is there one that allows you to be more creative?
It's in there, you just have to dig for it, honestly. Pretty much all of them allow you to add like a brand folder, so you can add your color palette, you can put your fonts, you can put some, also, I'd be sad if I didn't miss Klaviyo. I don't know if anybody's using Klaviyo, it sounds really weird. It's a little bit more challenging. I'm just gonna warn y'all. It's a little bit fancier, but I like it because it's a twofer. You get text message marketing with it, which is awesome because, by the way, MailChimp says you can use their text messaging. It is not alcohol compliant. Just so you guys know, you will get caught eventually. They probably won't catch it right away. Make sure that if you are using SMS, I hate the name of this, I hate saying this, it's called SHAFT compliant. It stands for sex, hate, alcohol, firearms, and tobacco. Also check, you have to understand too that it also depends on the mobile carrier on deliverability. So there's a lot of factors in here. So, yes.
I think your website also has to have that check age thing, like if you're sending them back to your website.
Not by TTB law, but it is a very strongly encouraged best practice by trade organizations. But technically it's not on the books with the TTB, but yes, it is very smart for all of y'all to have an age checker on your website. Mm-hmm.
So for the SMS and the email, I've tried to experiment a lot with it, and
Mhm.
I have gotten some blocks. I find that if you focus on like your tap room and food, you get a lot less kickback. So like if I directly send out something
Mm-hmm.
about, is that right? Like for
Yes,
SMS,
totally.
you
Did
can't-
y'all hear that?
You can't directly say like, we have beer, but for our tap room we have food. So I'm able to send out text messages saying like, specials this weekend or events, or like if it's not directly beer related, I kind of found a loophole there, but
Yeah.
it is not perfect.
That's good that you mentioned that. So that's pretty much across the board, just so y'all know, whether it's email, social media, digital ads, text messaging, whatever kind of marketing messages you guys are sending out, it's always better to err on the side of what we call usage. So like, come enjoy a burger and a pint, instead of saying $5 pints and $10 burger. You know what I mean? There's certain like trigger words, especially when it comes to alcohol. A lot of like buy now or come in and purchase something, you know, things like that will set off red flags. But if you're talking about like your environment, the tap room, the experience, descriptors, stuff like that, you're way better off, in way better shape. Yeah, less flags. Yes.
So that compliance is mostly just the retail facing side. If you have a separate list for wholesale, obviously that chef compliance probably doesn't apply if you're selling.
It does still a little bit because you're sharing public information with people that have signed up for something. So it has to do with privacy laws, basically. Yeah. God, I should have just done a Q&A with you guys for like an hour. This is great. Y'all are awesome. Okay, I'm going to talk faster though, because now I'm worried. Okay, so you need to post on Instagram every day. No, you do not. Please stop doing that. You are absolutely killing your algorithm. The reason this sounds true is because we have like an influencer culture and it's like the algorithm rewards quantity. No, it does not. It actually dings you for quantity. That's the world that we're living in because there's so much noise on social media right now. And it's what everybody else is doing. So please stop doing that, okay? Why it's wrong is that if you're doing daily posting just with like zero strategy behind it, you're probably gonna put out a bunch of noise instead of brand value. So we need to think about and be very intentional about the content that you're putting on social media. I'll just tell you right now, the gist with social media is engagement. That's all you need to be looking at. If you're looking at followers or views or likes or whatever, you're looking at garbage. Those are vanity metrics. What you are looking for, what these tools were built for in the original form, was community building. They want people to talk to each other. So you should be putting content out there that gets a reaction. You know, somebody shares it with somebody asks a question, they make a comment, they send a DM, they share it, they save it, they repost it, all that kind of stuff. That's what you're looking for. So if you're killing yourself putting out things 7 days a week and you have really low engagement, it's actually hurting your channel more than helping it. You're better off posting less but posting better and posting things that involves your community. It doesn't have to be, and it should not be, a giant billboard for you to word vomit all over about everything that's going on in your tap room every day of the week. You will burn out your audience and they will leave. Okay? Again, I use this because Rob is here and I have friends that work for Allagash and they do this really well. Sometimes they post like 3 times a week and it's nothing but crab pots. Do you know that? Crab pots. Because they are Maine. That is their thing. And that's what their community loves, right? They're not hawking beer, they're talking about crab pots. Because they're authentically Maine. That's their community, right? And they have built a following doing that because they know what their audience wants to hear and see. And they know what their audience wants to engage with, right? And think about it this way. If you throw up like 14 posts a week and it's got below 1% engagement, that's ridiculous compared to like if you posted 2 or 3 times a week and it has like 3, 4, 5% engagement rate. You're gonna get way more mileage out of that. And you're supposed to consistently show up with value, not just like scream into the void all the time. We wanna do this instead. Just start with like 3 or 4 feed posts a week. You start with 3. Make them really good. And what I mean by good is that it embraces your brand identity, it speaks to your target audience, and it gives them something interesting to interact with. And if you don't have a call to action, you're wasting your time. What is a call to action? You have to tell me what to do with your social media posts. Otherwise, I'm just gonna keep scrolling. There's no point, right? Like, what am I gonna do? You're just like, here, look at my beer. Here, look at this beer can again for the 100th time. Yay. What do I do with this? Do I go to your product finder? Do I sign up for your email list? Am I supposed to come to the tap room? Think about what you want people to do with that piece of content. It should have a purpose all the time. Otherwise, it probably doesn't need to go up there, all right? These are some themes that you can focus on that actually drives engagement in the food and beverage industry. I don't know if y'all know this. These are like what we call pillar themes that you can always rely on. Teach me something, educational, make me laugh. Who likes cat videos? I do. That's entertaining. Who likes a funny staff video? I don't know, sure. Brewers dancing with spray bottles? I know your brewers don't like to do that, but it is entertaining. Inspiration, so origin story, recipe story. How did you come up with the new beer style? How did you come up with the new label? People love that kind of stuff. Talk about your neighborhood. Behind the scenes. Okay, I'm gonna warn you about this, you production people in the room. No more yeast poop videos. You're not allowed to do that. You are also not allowed to post OSHA violations because they will come for you. I know it's funny that the cans fell on somebody. It's not funny when OSHA comes knocking on your door. Also, we make things that are ingestible. So if you show visuals that look like excrement, people are probably not gonna wanna drink your product, all right? Might be haha funny in the brew house, but not so funny to the general public that just met you on Instagram, all right? If you don't believe me, there's a funny experiment on YouTube with chocolate pudding. Just go look it up. It's pretty entertaining. Okay, so stop optimizing for views and followers. I want you to optimize for engagement. Engagement always reigns supreme, okay? Yes?
Sorry, can you define social proof on that level?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. So that's like awards, if you're a B Corp, if you're organic certified, certifications, woman-owned business, veteran-owned business, stuff like that. If you have awesome reviews, if you're something you're proud of, like don't just take our word for it. Mm-hmm.
One, on social media, how do you track the engagement and what is a acceptable percentage-wise?
So I hate to give you a lawyer answer, but it depends on the size of your following. The bigger your following, the lower your engagement percentage because you're talking to a big group, right? Like it's just that diminishing returns. Typically with small to medium sized brands, you're gonna have to get into your insights dashboard, like on Meta or Pinterest or what, you know, Twitter, wherever you are, right? There's a metrics, like an analytics section. What you're looking for is engagement rate by reach, because there's a couple different ones. So engagement rate by reach. I would say if you are anywhere in the 1 to 3% range or higher, you're doing great. I know that sounds really small, but y'all know that only 1% of your following sees your posts, right?
And to follow
Yeah.
up on that, would that be per post or just your actual?
You can look at the big one. I look at per post because I do this all the time and I'm really like nitpicky, but you can look at the overall engagement rate by reach. Yeah, sure. All right, more followers does not equal more sales. And I'll blow through this because I think y'all get my point with this. Just because you do more and more people see it does not mean that that's going to equate to revenue. Make sense? Like just because people see something doesn't mean that that's going to immediately translate. I can't tell you, sorry owners in this room, I can't tell you how many owners I work with that I have to like shake my finger at them and say, stop talking to me about your number of followers. That does not translate into taproom sales. Also, when your taproom gets slow, please stop yelling at the poor marketing girl because she's not like doing enough on Instagram. Okay? Please stop doing that. Those are not correlated at all, right? It's a vanity metric, right? So you're actually better off, and this is true for email as well, by the way. You're better off with a smaller following that's more highly engaged than to have big following with low engagement. You want people that want to hear you talk. You want people that are involved with your brand and invested in your brand. Engagement equates to intention. Intention equates to purchase. Make sense? So that's how we kind of follow that, right? More engagement, more likely to buy, right? Okay. Also, if you have a low engagement rate, that actually dings your reach even more. So you're actually getting penalized like multiple times, right? Okay, this is what to do to instead. I talked about engagement rate, right? It goes from quality content, nurturing your community, right? Making sure that we're providing brand value instead of brand noise, like using those pillar content, right? To talk about your company and your brand and your products and the things that you're selling. This is another thing that I always tell people. You have to give what you want to get out of social media marketing. You can't just post stuff and then expect magic to happen. This is, I don't know, does anybody know who Gary Vee is? Gary Vaynerchuk? Anybody from Jersey? No, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm still recovering from a cough too. Hang on. Gary Vee actually, he's bonkers, but he's a genius when it comes to marketing. He came over here with his parents. I think they're from Russia, and they started a wine business in Jersey. He was like one of the 4 founders of YouTube. He started doing wine tastings on YouTube, like before people even paid attention to YouTube. He invested in TikTok at the beginning, like before your kids did. So he's pretty on top of things. But he's got this theory called the $1.80 rule, and I practice this all the time with brands. You need to, a couple times a week, like whenever you have time, get a cup of coffee in the morning, whatever, cruise over to your Instagram, Facebook, whatever you're on, spend like 5 minutes on the platform interacting with other accounts, replying to people's comments, following other pages, supporting other people in your community. Do y'all get what I'm saying? It's like giving your 2 cents, and then you're supposed to do it like 90 times a week, like over the course. I know that sounds like a lot, but over a course of a week, it's not that bad if you just do it a little bit at a time. So you practice the $1.80 rule, and then you're putting in what you want to get out of it. It actually grows your business page because you're engaging and you're using the platform like you're supposed to. So please engage with other people. It's worth it, I promise. Okay. SEO, it's irrelevant and it's too hard and I don't know what the hell you're talking about, Julie. Okay, anybody familiar with SEO in here? Kind of sort of, oh good. I usually get like 0 goose egg on that. All right, great. What this stands for is search engine optimization. Yes, old people still use Google, including me. We still look for things on the interwebs. We don't go to Instagram like my Gen Alpha kids do, right? They just go straight to social media. Here's the thing, guess who has the most money right now? Old people, like me, that's Gen X and above, and my mom who will drop hundreds in a tap room if you just talk to her about double IPAs, and she's retired and she's amazing. And here's the thing, she hates social media. She really likes email, and she really wants to go to your website. Gen Z is broke. Sorry, I'm just gonna spoil alert all the clickbait headlines that you guys see. Yeah, they're drinking less, but also they don't have money. And I'm not saying to exclude them. There are some that still go out, like definitely cater to them like a little bit. I just don't want you centering your entire marketing campaign around Gen Z because they don't have money to spend. You're looking at millennials, you're looking at Gen X, you're looking at the silent generation. I can say boomers. I was trying to be diplomatic there. All right, so here's the thing is that we still have to practice SEO because people still use search and they still go to your website, right? That is still a thing. Also, did you know that your website feeds the AI tools that people are using for zero-click search now? So if you're not practicing SEO, you're kind of screwing yourself twice. Right? So this is not like an old school thing. This needs to be part of your repertoire for marketing, all right? Most people just don't know what it is. They assume it's really hard. They're like, oh, AI is doing everything. I'm not even gonna mess around with this. Please don't do that. Okay. Did y'all know local SEO is free? Does everybody in here have a Google business profile? Please claim it, all right? That's the first place to start. You get into your little dashboard. It's gonna show you what people are using to find you. These are called keywords. They're also called key phrases when they have multiple words in there, right? You want to make sure that those words are coming up in your website, your email, your social media. Did you know the big Google machine indexes all of those for searchability? It also indexes reviews. You want to get really comfy cozy with the keywords and the key phrases that people are using to discover your brand. That's what we're looking for. This is building brand awareness. This is building brand discovery. Yes?
What about for photos and other stuff you're posting to?
Alt text. Absolutely. Cram some words in there. Go for it. That's also compliant too, so thank you. Yeah. Big fan of alt text on pictures. Please put it in there. If anybody's using Squarespace for your website, kudos. They're really good at SEO. Wix, any of those. WordPress makes me want to bang my head against a freaking wall. But now with like these AI components, you can just go to your website host and it has a lot of that stuff done for you. Honestly, let the machines do it. Don't waste your time. It's fine. I've tested it. It works. You're good. Trust it. I promise. It'll save you loads of time. Loads. You can even go to an AI tool like ChatGPT or Claude. I'm a big Claude person. I'm not a huge fan of OpenAI for personal reasons. But, you know, I say like, here's my website. Index my website. What are some keywords? Here's the thing. Don't cram them into places where it doesn't make sense because Google will ding you for that. They've figured out, it's called keyword cramming. Just don't do that on the back end because that doesn't work. Anyways, but these are some of the things that people list, like best IPA in Albany, right? Breweries near me, breweries with food, breweries that like kids. That doesn't happen very often these days. Breweries that allow dogs, breweries with pizza, whatever it is, right? Like you're gonna have a whole list of maybe 20, 30, 40 terms that people use to find you, and then you try to start using them in the rest of your marketing universe. Make sense? Yeah? All right. Where can you find them? Google Business Profile, that's the best way. There's a fun but also very confusing tool that has a free version called SEMrush, S-E-M Rush, but it's really awesome, and you can find a lot of your keywords. And then there's another one called SE Optimer that's very inexpensive if you want a paid tool. And then look at hashtags. Those are keywords. They're just keywords on social media. That's it. Yes?
One thing I just want to add was, I think also, I mean, you might get into this later, is trying something out for, you know, an extended amount of time and really see how it's going to work, and give it time to really work out its kinks and see what's working. You know, mine is like 90 days. I try something new with mine, so.
Yeah, if y'all didn't hear that. So we have a saying in marketing called learn how to fail fast. And we say that because any new thing that you do, you need to give it some time. Give it like a week or two. Usually like 14 days is kind of the litmus test that we use like across the board, whether it's digital ads or new social content or email or any of that kind of stuff. Give it like 10 to 14 days so that you can get some data. If it's not working, stop doing it like immediately. If it is working, keep going, right? But you're constantly testing. Yeah, constantly evolving. Okay. Use this instead. Also, don't come at me. Do you see that? Untapped Yelp TripAdvisor. Yeah, get some keywords from that and make sure y'all are listed on those things. You may not like them, but they also get indexed by the Google machine. All right, and it's a good place to be. Like listicles, local directories, event calendars, stuff like that. Leverage your PR and media relations. We've talked about this at this conference before. John Hall usually comes in and does like a really good session about PR and media. You should have a list of journalists who you are friends with that you contact when you have relevant, I'm going to say this again, relevant news for their publication. Not just what you think is cool. Relevant for their customer base. And you have to tell them why it's relevant and why they should write about it. And you know what you get? You get a backlink. And you know what the backlink does? It gives you more stickers on your SEO chart. And then you get found more often. That's the benefit of that. So I'm sure Jess can back me up. All right. So yes, good SEO feeds AI search. This is called like a bunch of different things. It's called like ZEO or AIO. It has like a million. Here's the thing, AI is really bad at location stuff. So if I went into Claude and say, list craft breweries near me, it would be like, syntax error, no, cannot compute. You know, whereas Google is really good at that, right? But here's the thing is that there are certain elements of your website that AI will index that it loves, that it absolutely loves. An FAQ section, woo, it'll eat one of those up. Put a buttload of FAQs on your website. Maybe not everybody reads them all the time, but you know what? It's getting dinged while you're sleeping. All right? So you want to get recommended. Other thing, we talked about social proof, certification, awards, medals, all the things. Load them on your website. Media. It references backlinks, all of that stuff. That's a great way that you can just build more content so that you can get recommended by these AI tools. Make sense? And all that's free, by the way. It just takes a little elbow grease, right? This is probably a foregone conclusion now. Your website doesn't matter anymore, and please stop using your Facebook page as a website. I hope nobody does that anymore, but I've seen that a lot. And also, stop burying the interesting stuff about your brand at the back of your website. Please stop. I can't tell you how many brands I've consulted for that I go into their website and I'm like, what are you guys about? What's different about their brand? They're like, oh, we're easygoing, and we have a cozy tap room, and we're approachable, and we're a cool place to hang out. And I look at the website, and 25 pages in, there's a story about how they traveled to Belgium and got inspired by a monastery. And I'm like, what the heck is happening? Why is that buried? Yo, that's like marketing gold. Dig into your foundational branding. Pull it to the forefront. Tell the stories that people want to get interested in. I talked about this yesterday in my sales workshop. Things like approachable, local, craft, high quality ingredients, easygoing, all that stuff, that's table stakes now. Everybody does that. And I'm not trying to say that to be mean to you all, but you got to go further. You got to tell me, why am I here? Belgian ales, German style lagers, I don't know, Mexican food, whatever you do, right? Like, you got to let me, is it woman owned? Do you have a cool ship? I don't know what you're doing. You got to drill down, figure out what's special, and bring it to the forefront, right? And talk about why it's special. And a great place to do that is your website. And here's the thing, most brand awareness begins on channels for high visibility like social media. But the conversions and the sales, those are gonna come from your website. Also, guess what? You own your website. No algorithms to deal with, right? That's another asset that you own. You can do whatever you want to with it, all right? Okay, this is called the grunt test in marketing. Can you answer these 3 questions on your homepage without scrolling? Y'all try it. Pull up your own website. Answer these 3 questions. Who are you? Do you have a logo? Can I see what your name is? That's pretty easy, right? Where the heck are you? Are you a physical location? Are you a contracted brand? I don't know. I don't know how to find money or find your place and spend money with you unless you tell me where you are. And what do you do? When are you open? What are you selling me? Here's another thing I see. All of you that have like orchards or farms or things like that, please stop making your hero image on your homepage look like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Black and white farm photo, that looks like I'm gonna get murdered if I come to your facility. I know you think it's artistic and pretty, and it is in a certain context, maybe on another page, but like, you're not selling me a barn, you're selling me liquid. Sell me sensory, refreshing, inviting, ingredients, happy people having a good time, dogs, animals of all kinds, produce, I don't know, things. It has to be a positive association. Stop with the axe murderer farm silo in black and white, please. Do yourself a favor. All right, so we gotta knock those out before we even scroll anywhere. That's what we call above the fold. That is gonna determine whether people hang out on your website or if they bolt right away. You know what else you need in there? A call to action. What do I do next? Do you want me to look at your beer list? Do you want me to sign up for your email list? What do you want me to do? So you gotta entice me, you gotta bring me in, you gotta invite me in, and then you gotta tell me what to do. Sound good? It's not that hard. Here's another thing, you don't need a $10,000 website, and sorry if there's any web developers in here. You don't necessarily need a web developer. You need a website that is clean, attractive, gives people the tactical information they need to make a purchase decision with you. It needs to load quickly, and it needs to look good on mobile. I don't need to be scrolling back and forth on my phone. I have old eyeballs. Please don't make me do that, all right? A lot of people do. Make sure it looks good on mobile. Most web platforms these days have the sortable view so that you can preview it and see what it looks like, all right? Okay, everyone who loves beer is our target customer. No, that does not work. That is too big, too broad. If you're marketing to everyone, you're marketing to no one. Don't be afraid to be specific with who you are trying to reach. The more targeted your customers, the higher the purchase intent, because we're speaking directly to them. The example that I always use with this is actually in my backyard. I don't know if anybody knows of Denver Beer Company. They're only in Colorado, so it's not like they're huge. All of their marketing is camping, Subarus, dogs, skiing, fishing. Makes sense, right? We're very stereotypical, right? But they know who their customer is. That's exactly who they're trying to reach. So instead of just showing a bar top with a bar can or with a new like beer can on it, right, of like their special release, they have it in somebody's Yeti cooler in the back of their Toyota truck, which everybody also has Tacomas in addition to Subarus. So, and there might be a dog right next to it, right? So we're like hitting on all the things that their target audience is looking for with one photo instead of just doing it on a bar top. So I want y'all to think about who you're trying to reach exactly. Is it soccer moms? Is it retirees? Is it veterans? Is it Gen Z, I don't know, sorority sisters? I don't know, whatever it is, right? Like whoever you're trying to reach, know your people and show them the things that would make them want to engage with your brand and start a relationship with your brand. Make sense? Not just everybody likes beer. By the way, you can turn someone into a craft beer fan that says they're not a beer drinker if their friends are interested in your brand. So think about what their friends do, right? Another vote for offering more than just beer, like your physical location, all right? And you don't need avatars and a 40-page brand strategy. That's great, awesome, if you're getting a degree in marketing like I did. And you probably might have to do that for like an MBA project or something like that, but just know who you're trying to talk to. Who is our person? What do our regulars look like? What do they do on the weekend? What kind of events do they enjoy? What do they care about? Can we partner up with a charity that makes sense to them, right? So think about what we call psychographics instead of demographics. Psychographics are lifestyle, interest, hobbies, values, things of that sort, right? Instead of just thinking about age, income level, education. You do have to think about geography. That's the big demographic that I do pay attention to, is where people live, right? All right. Y'all hang in there. I got 10 minutes to go through the rest of the, okay. If you're not on TikTok, you're missing out on sales. I get this question all the time. Not necessarily true. TikTok is not for everybody. And this kind of dovetails into just general video content. Video content is time consuming. It takes skill. It takes strategy. If you don't have the bandwidth for it right now, do not stress. I would rather you be good at a platform and put out very thin content, you know what I mean? Like every now and then, but it's really well done, than to try to force yourself into video content that kind of sucks. All the time, right? And also know that your part-time marketing person can probably not pull off video content. I think content creators are drastically underrated. It is literally dollars that are being displayed for your brand. Give them space and grace to create things that drive engagement. It's not just on a whim, and it's not something that you can just Google. All right, it is an actual skill. Viral is not a feasible strategy. I hate it when I cannot tell you. Y'all will see this at other conferences. It doesn't happen here. I haven't seen it happen here. I go to conferences where people are like, video content, go viral. This is how you go viral. Do you know how lucky you have to be to go viral? Do you really want to bet your revenue on trying to get lucky and go? Now, if you do, that's awesome. And if that happens, but that should not be your marketing strategy. That is very hard to do. Very, very hard. And the tortilla trend is not going to do it. Or the basketball thing, the beer can on top of the basketball. You're probably not going to go viral for something like that, all right? And you're not going to go viral for using trending audio. You're always going to be chasing stuff. I just want y'all to have something more solid and more dependable than try to go viral on TikTok. Also, everybody's really young on TikTok, if you haven't noticed. It's not a bad platform. I'm not saying not use it. I use TikTok as a bridge, a brand awareness discovery bridge. If you can get some good visibility, the algorithm is really good for eyeballs, but you want to get people off of TikTok and onto your website or onto email or onto Instagram. So use it as a transition more than anything else. Don't bank on sales coming from TikTok. Got it? Also, repurpose the shit out of your videos. I don't care what people say. I'm supposed to stand up here as a marketing expert and say best practices are that you create, videos for Reels, and then you do something different for YouTube, and then you do something different for TikTok, and you put it out at ideal time. Nobody has time for that in this room. Do a 12-second video, make it good, post it on different platforms at different times. Repurpose your content. I'm giving you permission to do that until you can hire more people. And then when you have an army, then you do specialized stuff. Make sense? Until then, just reuse the stuff. It's great. Also, no one knows when you took that video. So you just sit on stuff. You could use something from last year. Make sure it's relevant to your business today. Okay, you need a big budget to compete digitally. This is not true. Is it nice to have? Sure. It's great to have a big marketing budget. That's not a bad thing, right? But if you don't have it, it doesn't mean that you are losing from the beginning, right? We have a little thing called authenticity and being able to be nimble because we're small. We're smaller and we're independent, right? Use that to your advantage. Make it personal. Make it authentic, right? Complex content takes a really long time, big teams, tons of hours. Stop trying to market like them. Stop trying to chase that. It's unattainable. Work with what you have. Be authentic, be personal, connect with people, build a community, build an army of brand ambassadors. That's how we get bigger, right? Okay, real people, real stories, real community, that is where the meat and potatoes live, right? Corporate stuffy ads, no thanks. Okay, lifestyle ads, awesome. How does your product fit into my lifestyle? Show me. I'm gonna go camping with a cooler of Denver Beer Co. beer with my dog, right? That fits seamlessly into my lifestyle, right? Start with organic and then build up to paid. Just add a little bit. Start with $2 a day for Google ads. It helps, trust me, even that little bitty bit, all right? Utilize PR and media, build a media list, build your email list. right? This is, and I'll let y'all look at this later, and you'll get the deck and everything, but this is kind of your prioritization stack, right? So always on all the time, Google business profile, make sure it's updated, email list, website, organic social, right? PR and media. Core stuff that you can incorporate when you're ready, things like video content, Facebook events, SEO. Selective, if you have the bandwidth to do it, add some small paid ads in reason, right? Only if you have capacity, a step up, right? And then these are just things to skip right now. Like you can do that later. That's too big. Don't chase that. Make sense? Yeah? Okay. Bonus, you're too small to be tracking metrics. I'm calling bullshit on all of you. No one in this room is too small to be tracking your marketing metrics. You know why? Because if you're still doing the stuff that doesn't work, you are wasting time. If you have a channel that's tanking, like X or whatever, stop using it. Does anyone read your threads? Really? Does anyone read your threads? Maybe? I don't know. If they stop doing it. But you won't know, excuse me, you won't know unless you're tracking stuff to tell you that it's tanking for you to stop doing it. So, why it sounds true, all of this, most people are like, that's extra work, I don't want to do it, it takes too much time. It's not that hard. I'm talking like an hour a month, maybe. Just sit down and do it. Look at your metrics, right? See what's going on. What kind of posts are doing well? Which email did the best? What did people click on, right? Those are the things, and then the other stuff that's way down the list, just get it out of the way. But tracking is how you protect your time and not waste it, right? And this will come with the deck, but y'all can just see, like, this is just some examples of the stuff that I typically track. Pretty simple, right? It's not that bad. It's not. There's way more, trust me. I just didn't want to overwhelm you, right? Okay. You don't need more marketing. You really don't. You just need intention. And it needs to be done on purpose. And it needs to be done with a strategy behind it. And stop banking on the algorithm for revenue. Please stop doing that. And start communicating with your actual customers. And here's the finale. Y'all can scan the big one. That's your cheat sheet if y'all want to download that. And there's some other stuff in there. You can download the deck and get all the slides. You can, ping me if you have some more questions. And we have a few minutes left. I love that y'all were active and didn't use the anonymous Q&A thing, that y'all just screamed questions in here. Again, sorry for my cough a little bit. Go ahead.
I think our brewery has the capability to do some of the long-form content for YouTube. It will require the owners to spend a little bit more money on marketing than they're used to.
Mm-hmm.
What is kind of a realistic engagement timeline to be tracking, YouTube specifically? If, say, we're going to do this for a year, how do they know that it's working or not?
I mean, if it's growing, it's working. If people are watching, if they're clicking, if you can see, this gets into a bunch of different layers, but everybody should also be using Google Analytics. If you don't have Google Analytics set up, you're going to fall behind. What Google Analytics does is tell you who's going to your website and from where. Where they came from. Did they come from my email? Did they come from social? Did they come? And you can do it by channel specific. So you can see over time if YouTube starts rising up in the ranks of oh dang, we have a lot of people coming to the website from YouTube, it's working. Yeah, sure. And I'll tell you right now, long form content, especially for something like YouTube, is not as long as it used to be. It's 5 minutes. That's long form content. 10 minutes, 12 minutes. Just so y'all know. YouTube Shorts is the new TikTok. Right? It's short little bite-sized stuff. And honestly, nobody has time for anything anymore. And everybody has squirrel brains. And so you don't necessarily... I'm not saying long-form content is a bad idea on YouTube. I just don't want y'all be conservative, right? Don't think that you have to make an hour-long documentary about the brewery. Short little bite-sized pieces, maybe a collection stitched together. There are people that will watch that. Also, here's the cool part is that now you can use some pretty spiffy AI tools to take a long form video and tell the AI tool to chop it up for you in 10-second highlights, and then you parcel those out over social media. And you got it from one piece of content, which is really awesome. That's another way, just so y'all know, I use AI a lot. If you can't tell, I'm not opposed to that. I have certain guardrails that I stick to. Shameless plug for my session in a couple hours on AI, and you can hear me talk about that even more. But I like to use it for useless stuff that costs you time. I have a big video, I need to break it into pieces to use it for other stuff. Let an AI tool do it for you. It's not cheating, right? I have a sales sheet. I need more sales language or marketing language that I can use for Instagram captions. Okay, great. Pick this apart for me. Put it in other forms, right? It's still your words. You're not cheating. You wrote that thing. Say you write a blog post. Hey, Claude, take this blog post that I wrote, turn it into an email, and then turn it into 10 social media captions. 5 minutes, tops, which is really powerful. And it's not cheating. I don't want y'all to feel bad about using AI. We'll get into the graphic art stuff and that's more dicey, all right? That's way more contentious. We'll talk about that later today. But repeatable tasks that saves you time, go for it. Also pay for your AI tools because you can have your privacy settings on there. Anybody else? We might have like a minute or two. Yeah.
What's like a really concise sort of explanation of how to use an Instagram post along with Reels, like the more, ephemeral, spontaneous interaction versus, I think we rely like almost exclusively on the Reels, and then it doesn't exist anymore. So how would you?
Oh, for stories?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So usually I tell people, like, just to get started, like 3 feed posts a week, right, on your Instagram feed. Do like 1 or 2 stories a week, just to get yourself in like a new habit, right? If one of those feed posts can be a reel, then you get double duty, which is awesome. Because you can post your reel, but also say like, post to my feed, so you kind of get it in both places. Also, if you have a reel, just throw it on your stories on a different day. You know what I mean? So you can kind of like repurpose stuff like all around. If it's something really important to your brand, save the story as like a highlight or whatever, so you can save it on there, but otherwise it will go away. I don't know if anyone's ever told y'all this. Instagram is really like 3 channels in one. I don't know if y'all know that. There's most people that look at their feed only look at their feed. And then you have stories people. They only look at their stories. And then you have reels people, and they only look at reels. So if you're not sort of spreading it out across the board, then you might be missing people. I just don't want you to get stressed out about like spreading it out that much, but it's kind of a best practice. Does that help?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. I know that was a lot, sorry. But it's like it's like a triple channel, because you have like 3 different places where you can go. Yes?
Following up on that,
Mm-hmm.
post the reels and feeds. Can you find them in one spot? So where you have your posts and you go to your posts, like, okay, so I'm a boomer. I don't do posts or reels.
Sure.
My kids do it.
Yeah.
They help us out. But, I'm like, if I want to know more about my company or a brewery, I go to the post and I can see all the different pictures and stuff like that. But if you're there, can you see their reels and their posts?
Yeah, you just have to click on a different button that looks like the little YouTube thing with the arrow. I think that's what it looks like now. They keep changing it. And but there's a little button like right next to it, and you can it almost looks exactly like the Instagram grid, but it's videos. And it's all your reels on there. But the stories disappear unless you save them. To the little, the little circles underneath? Those are called highlights. So if you have a cool story, say that I don't know, you got lucky and it went viral, right? And you want to save it on there. You can only do it on the mobile app. You can't do it on the desktop version, not from the Meta Business Suite or anything like that. You have to do it from the Instagram mobile app, and you go to that story, and then there's the little 3 dots, and then you can save it to your highlights, and it'll stay there. Otherwise, it disappears after 24 hours. Yep. Yeah.
Just curious, because we talked about the email platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any strong feelings on which platforms are scheduling and do you use schedulers versus OCP?
Oh, I should have put that as one of my myths. I'm so glad that you said that. Some people think that if you use you're talking about social media scheduling software. I use Sprout. I swear by Sprout. It's super friggin' expensive though, y'all. Just be forewarned. There's a really great cheap one called Publer. I don't know if anybody's used Publer before. That's a great starter tool. When we're talking about repurposing content to make your lives easier, there's software out there that will allow you to build like a calendar of social media posts. Y'all have probably seen the scheduler in Meta. It sucks compared to the software that's out there. Like, it's horrible. There's way better tools, but there's a misnomer that floats around that you get less engagement if you use a social media scheduling tool. It's garbage. Myth debunked. Y'all can all take that to the bank. I go to so many social media conferences all the time that have nothing to do with beverage. It's like 0.0001% engagement that you might lose from using a scheduling tool. I strongly recommend using a scheduling tool. It will make your life so much easier. And it just lays it out like a calendar, right? And you can slot stuff in there. And what I usually like to tell people too is go ahead and batch plan and like schedule about 75% of your content. You know what I mean? Like recurring taproom events or special releases, like things that you need to talk about, right? On a general basis, right? And then leave the rest of that time for spontaneous, like fun stuff that just comes in. Did that answer your question? Okay, awesome. If y'all, I will be around until, I hate to say this, I usually stay through the whole conference. I have to go to Disneyland with my kids. They're an orchestra, and I am flying to Anaheim this afternoon. So please get my contact info. If you have additional questions, please reach out to me. Normally I stick around and try to answer as many questions as I can, but I gotta go see my kid play the bass. I'm really proud of him. So anyways, thank you all for being here for me. Thanks for coming.